I'm a conservative because I believe in hard work, and I think it's lazy to stand outside and hold a sign. I think it's lazy, okay?
안녕하세요. 영어 영상 모든 것입니다. 11월 14일 워싱턴dc에서 선거조작 반대 시위가 정말 크게 열렸었습니다. 정말 많은 트럼프 지지자들이 모였었는데 그 규모가 100만 명 정도 된다고 하네요. 제가 이에 관련해서 영상 2개를 업로드했는데 혹시 관심 있으신 분들은 이 영상 끝나고 보고 와주시면 감사하겠습니다. 사실 저는 큰 문제 없이 마무리되었구나 라고 생각했었거든요. 근데 실제 현장에 계셨던 구독자분들께서 말씀해 주셨는데 지지자들이 조금씩 빠지는 늦은 오후부터 Black Lives Matter 시위대랑 안티파 시위대가 갑자기 트럼프 집회에 등장해서 트럼프 지지자들 심지어 선량한 시민들까지 때리고 난리도 아니었다고 합니다. 제가 이 폭행 영상들을 잠들기 전에 봤었는데 너무 놀라서 가슴이 쿵쾅쿵쾅 뛰어가지고 새벽 늦게까지 잠을 들지도 못했었어요. 예전에 캔디스 언니도 2년 전쯤 친구들이랑 아침에 평화롭게 식사를 하고 있는데 갑자기 안티파들이 몰려와서 공격을 했던 적이 있었거든요. 이에 대한 영상과 캔디스 언니가 말해주는 안티파, 그리고 안티파 좌파 학생의 참교육을 해주는 영상까지 이렇게 3개의 영상을 보면서 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 그럼 감사합니다.
And this just looks sad.
What's up, Candace?
So Antifa just showed up to protest us eating breakfast.
God, joining us right now to detail all of it and tell us what happened. What do they want? What are they protesting?
Just us being conservative. You're not allowed to be a conservative thinker and eat breakfast publicly, apparently. We've done nothing. We said nothing. They shouted at us in the restaurant, calling us Nazis and fascists. And I said, do you realize I'm a black woman? You're calling me a Nazi. I said, are we not allowed to eat here because we're conservative? I was concerned about the most is they were screaming in my ear with a bullhorn. What they're trying to do is get you to react. They're whistling in your ear, and that's very loud. You know, it really affects your eardrums to hear that much noise at this distance. So
they know exactly what they can get away with.
Right.
Throwing water on you guys. Not going to get arrested for that. Putting a bullhorn right next to your head. Screaming at you, getting this close to your face. As long as they don't touch you, they're not going to jail.
And they make it like thuggery. I mean, they just want to gang up on people.
Correct. Imagine if a bunch of people in MAGA hats and Make America Great Again hats saw a black liberal in a restaurant and said, you can't eat here, get out. And they started with a bullhorn to her face. This would be wall-to-wall coverage on every network. Yeah. And we would never hear the end of it. But that's because they have decided that racism is okay, violence and harassment is okay, so long as it's against conservatives.
That's exactly right. That's why it's okay that the leadership at the FBI and the DOJ completely abused their power. It's okay. It was against Trump.
That's correct.
You know what's incredible to me? No comment. Crickets on the left. Crickets from the Democrats or the left who've actually seen this and are constantly talking about the right and the Republicans who are, upsetting the public peace. Have you heard anything about this from anybody on the left to say this is wrong, what just happened to you?
Well, Maria, this is what they wanted. This is what Maxine Waters called for. She wanted people that support Trump to be approached in restaurants, approached on the streets. Exactly what she called for is what happened at this restaurant yesterday. So we're not too shocked by their silence. We are just shocked at how violent it's grown. In the past, we've seen one person approach somebody that supports Donald Trump or somebody that's in Trump's cabinet. This was 30 people that assembled. And if the police weren't there, God knows what would have happened.
It's not just organization, Candace. It's also funding.
Yes.
Do you have any sense of who is funneling money to these groups? Who is organizing them?
Correct. They're obviously funded. This was 8 a.m. in the morning. I don't know how 30 individuals were able to get off work. This clearly was their job. Many people have said that this is funded by George Soros. I have no information to say that that's true or that's false, and we definitely haven't looked into it.
You guys were touching on something a little bit earlier. You said there is no conservative Antifa. Conservatives don't protest.
I said that.
Yeah, do you know why?
Conservative Antifa.
I'll tell you why. There's no conservative Antifa. Conservatives, as a rule, don't protest because money talks.
이게 무슨 소리야?
And you don't want limited government. You want limited government for yourselves. You don't want limited government for the working people. I'll tell you why. Because let me finish. Right? The reason there is no conservative Antifa, the reason that conservatives don't protest is because you don't need to. You hold the levers of power anyway. You own the police. You own the army. You own the media. Right? You don't need to protest. You get other people to do it for you.
Wait, okay, so...
As a class, as a collective, conservatism and the right wing rules the media. It rules the police.
Whoa, stop. I know, this is a little... There's so many... No, you've made a few, though. You've made a few here.
We talk about free speech. I'll be 2 more minutes. So you talk about limited...
No. This idea of trying to I'm tired of this like lazy intellectual argument of like conservatives are all rich white people, because that's what you're doing here when you say like you guys are the ruling elites. No, people. You're correct that we have jobs and we can't show up at 8 a.m. in the morning. No. I'm gonna come back to you. You're correct that we have jobs and we can't show up. You've heard me. I came from absolutely nothing. I'm a conservative because I believe in hard work, and I think it's lazy to stand outside and hold a sign. I think it's lazy. Okay, so if that's your excuse, you're not gonna get away with this with me, okay? So come with an intellectual argument about why it is that conservatives don't riot and protest and incite violence in the middle of the street, because the answer is not because they're rich and controlling the media.
Your ideology. So firstly, right, when I talk about conservatives, I'm not stereotyping them as rich white people. I'm talking about them as people that subscribe to an ideology. And that ideology is the ideology of the corporation and the rule of the corporations and the rule of the corporations and the rich over the poor. Whether you are rich or whether you are poor, you support that ideology.
You're just wrong.
Now, let me just say one more thing about you talking about how you came from nothing. Well, I congratulate you on that. Thanks. But there's a lot of people out there that didn't. This society leaves behind a lot of losers. I congratulate you for being a winner, but how many heads did you step on to get there?
The point that I'm making is anybody can make something themselves in a free market society. That is why I am a conservative. It's not because I'm rich. It's not because I come from money. And what you're using right now is bad stereotypes to come up with you're using bad stereotypes to come up with an unsound argument. Imagine if you spent...
I want to raise my class. I want to raise my people. I don't want to raise myself. I want to raise my people. And let me tell you something.
You want to raise what?
Right? I talk to all you Tories in here. Every single one of you. I work hard, and I'm a working class man. Right? Let me tell you.
This is what we're saying.
These are the hands that will take from you that which you stole from us as a class. I raised my class, not myself. And
I come from less than you. You need to get a job. You need to get a job. You need to get a job. This isn't it, okay? You're not noble. You're not giving some speech that's going to be remembered for the next 10 years, okay? You sound pathetic and like you need to get a job. I don't know, it's like the weirdest thing that you're doing right now. What do you think you are, like Martin Luther King, and we're all going to look back and go, oh my God, thank God for that speech. These hands are going to come. You sound violent, you sound unhinged, and you sound like you're disproportionately angry at conservatives because we don't riot and incite violence in the middle of the street. You sound ridiculous. You just said you're going to put your hands around his throat. What sort of example are you leading for the people in your community?
Put your hands on my throat.
What are you doing? Because the truth is that you guys are lazy. Let me tell you what leftists are. You're envious of people that work harder than you. That's all you're doing right now. You're being envious, and socialism is the creed of envy and greed.